And here we are. This has flown by, but somehow we find ourselves in the final session of the day. Before we wrap, let's just take a look at what we have built together here today. Hours of shared stories, bold ideas, real world solutions, like a build it yourself open source SIME, for Christ's sake, all in the open. And it only feels right to close things out with someone who's helped make this movement real. Toni de la Fuente is the founder of Prowler, the open source security tool trusted by thousands of teams across the world, and a driving force behind the vision and the conference and the whole collection of open cloud security that we've been talking about today. Some security that's collaborative and transparent and customizable, and more importantly, built for the people doing the actual work. In this session, Tony's going to show us how Prowler is tackling one of the toughest problems in cloud security, and that is multi-cloud security. He'll walk us through Prowler helping AWS, Azure, GCP, and Kubernetes with open, composable checks and a community-first model. Please, once again, and to close down our first ever Open Cloud Security Conference, welcome Toni back to the stage. Thanks, Toni.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for those kind words. Yes, last talk of the conference. Very glad to be closing up this first Open Cloud Security Conference, and of course we wanted to talk and to tell everybody what are we doing in order to help people keeping their cloud secure with Prowler. So first of all, for those of you that you don't know me, I started Prowler in 2016, and also almost 2 years ago, I founded Prowler as a company. Now we are almost 20 employees around, I think, 5 countries. I used to work for AWS as a security engineer, security consultant in different areas, but I started Prowler before that when I realized that I didn't have, for me, enough tools and open source tools to easily see and visualize what is right and what is wrong in the cloud that I had to manage in that time. I've been building open source tools and security solutions for the last 15 plus years, and I'm in Granada, in the south of Spain, but traveling a lot as well. So today I want to discuss and try to find the answer to some of the most hard questions that we have when it comes to hardening or taking control of your cloud. No matter which cloud is, what do I have in my cloud? Where is my data? And is the data secure? Do I have ephemerals? Because in the cloud, not everything, but a lot of things are ephemeral, right? Is this scaling group with this task, this type of service being insecure at this point? What are the IAM relationships between accounts or between resources, right? Or even between clouds, third parties that have access to our information or cloud resources, not even data, but probably they have access to some resources or services. And also, once you know the thing, what do you need to do? What do you have to do now? What you have to do tomorrow? What can you plan? Because it's important, but not very urgent over the next weeks or months. And last but not least, am I under attack now? Threat detection, right? So with that said, of course, we have seen different approaches like legacy solutions, or not that legacy, but black boxes, solutions that you just have to trust, right? With no customization or lack or poor customization, also with giving you a lot of alerts. All cloud security tools are finding a lot of things all the time, and you need to find the needle on the haystack, right? And also, we can see every day costly and complex solutions that they give you a lot of things, but probably not exactly what you need or how you have to start with, right? So what we do, we try to go with open source solutions, of course, community-driven solutions, and to provide, of course, transparency and help with improvements and grow and speed up the development thanks to the community, right? Easy to customize, easy to create your own detections or remediations for any cloud or even new cloud providers or new SaaS services. With different options, you can reduce the noise and be focusing what is the most important. And also very important, we need cost-effective solutions and simple solutions, because if you have something really hard and complex, that is cloud security with complex tools, is complex, square complex, right? So we need to reduce the complexity with cloud security solutions. So that is why we have Prowler. That is why we have different open source services and products. So you have Prowler that you can download right now, or either the CLI or the components that I will mention to scan your AWS, Azure, GCP, Kubernetes, and many others that we are adding, like, for example, Microsoft 365. You can use Prowler for continuous monitoring. You can use Prowler for security assessment or one-point assessment and audits, incident response, compliance, etc. Run it on-premise, the whole platform on-premise, just the CLI on-prem, but take advantage also of our SDK, API, and the new UI that we released from Prowler 5. Also, you can use all that stuff in a managed service that we call Prowler Cloud. And we are also recently released Prowler Studio. Prowler Studio is a tool, is a CLI tool so far, but also with a chatbot that you can ask about detections and remediations. It's like, okay, I don't have a check for this new service. Please, Prowler Studio, do or build that check for me, including the remediations, the test, and everything that is needed. And you can have access to Prowler Studio right now. It's Apache license. It has Radio Rack. Everything is public. It's open source in our GitHub. And we are going to release, you will see some screenshots. We are going to release very soon what we call Prowler Hub. So if you are familiar with Docker Hub, Prowler Hub is that, but for detections and remediations. It's our public knowledge base. So you can browse through all our checks. It's a new UI for collaboration and knowledge of what is new and what is existing available for detections, security detections, and remediations in the cloud, including that mapping with compliance frameworks across all the supported cloud providers that we have. That is going to be pretty cool and very helpful for you to see if you are secure or not based on everything that we are building every day. So if you are here, it's because you are doing some of these use cases, right? You need solutions for continuous cloud security monitoring, for threat detection in the cloud, hardening and remediation, and of course, incident response. With Prowler, you can take a photo and snapshot of your whole cloud configuration, and you can see what has happened in the case of an incident. And of course, for compliance, for point-in-time security assessment or audits, even for pen testing or data visualization and analysis of everything that you have found in your different cloud providers, right? So, and why all this stuff is important? Because we are open source, because we are Apache license, and whatever you do for any cloud providers, either AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Kubernetes, you name it, is going to give you exactly the same output format with open standard, JSON OCSF, CSV, or even an HTML. And also anything that you are scanning, if you are using the whole application, the whole platform, you are going to have a standard API for anything that you are scanning with Prowler, which makes integrations and development way easier, and no matter the cloud providers that you are using. We are what we call the cloud security SDK, because we are pulling the data from the cloud provider straight away, and then you can create, of course, your own detections and remediations. Everything based on one single premise. That is, it has to be easy. If it's not easy, shouldn't be part of Prowler. Okay. So all the components that we have from Prowler version 5, of course, you are familiar with the CLI, right? You are familiar with the powerful CLI that you can run point-in-time assessments, or even you can integrate in your CI/CD pipeline if you want to. And also on top of that, we have built we have built an SDK, and around the SDK or the core is the API and also the UI that is talking to the API, as you can see here. Also, we have now a Postgres SQL if you want to use the whole application with Celery workers for the asynchronous execution of the scans, and Bulky for the message broker. So as you can see, Prowler is growing from just the CLI to the whole platform, and you can use whatever you need. If you need the whole platform, you can, or just keep using the improved CLI. And how to do it? You can do it right now in a matter of seconds, minutes, with installing Prowler. Then you can run Prowler based on your provider, whatever provider you want, and you get the local dashboards or all the outputs in different formats. But at the same time, you can run Docker Compose and get the whole application installed locally in your cloud, or you can just go to cloud.prowler.com and use it, whatever you prefer. Good. So with all that said, what are we building and where are we going soon? So if you want to see everything that we are doing now and what is going to be released soon, if you are a Prowler user or customer, this is what we have done in this quarter that we are just closing, right? We have added a very comprehensive API that now we are trying to make that available through the UI, the web UI. You can export all the findings through the UI and also through the API, which makes you create integrations easier. So now if you have CI/CD pipeline integrations, you don't need to run Prowler. You can just pull the information from the Prowler application through the API if you want to. We have released the Prowler Studio, all detections and remediations that you need, you can create with that. We have ready Prowler Hub that is going to be open in a matter of weeks. You will see that soon. And we added some GenAI services support, like this and the bedrock checks, detecting bedrock security best practices, and preventing those misconfigurations in bedrock. We will add more AI services to create and to check their security from Prowler. And what else is coming? We are adding compliance-related GenAI. We are adding comprehensive compliance reports that you can download from Prowler, and you can send them and take advantage of those all the compliance frameworks that we support, right? That are more than 35. We are adding in the new UI Jira integration, Security Hub integration. Regardless, that is available now through the CLI, but you are going to be able to use that easier through the UI. And we are also going to add graph relationships between assets, something that is very common and very helpful when you want to see attack paths and relationships, not only from the attack standpoint, but also from the IAM standpoint, right? Very helpful. And in terms of threat detection and remediation or checks, we are adding Microsoft 365 support, adding more and more checks. We are going to add that also into the UI once we finish all the checks that we consider are enough for a decent support of Microsoft 365, which is going to be around 100 checks, detections. We're creating something that we call Prowler Risk Score that is going to help everybody to know if you are better or more secure or less in the cloud, based on 4 main pillars. And we are adding way more, many other features that you will see soon. Probably related to AI. We will see. We will see. And of course, always open source for everybody to enjoy and to take advantage of it. Look, this is Prowler Hub, and this is going to be available very, very soon. It's a way that you can browse through all our artifacts by providers, by services, by severity, by categories, by compliance framework, and by type of checks. And you can browse through all that stuff. And once you go to a specific check or a specific control, you can go through everything that you can use, including the code. In this screenshot is not the code, but you can see the code here also. This is going to be a very good point, like a single point of truth for detections and remediations in the cloud. And every time that we create something new, or you create something new and you contribute back to Prowler, it's going to be here highlighted for everybody to know what is new, not what is new in Prowler, but what is new in the cloud security world that you have to take into account. So remember, in Prowler, you own the platform. You can use it on-premise. On premises, you manage everything here or in the cloud, right? So it depends on whatever you want. If you are savvy enough or you have your own resources, feel free to use Prowler, the CLI mode, server mode, developer to create your own customizations with Prowler Studio, or come to the cloud and you get it, okay? So that's all. So I didn't want to go beyond the time. That is what we have. We wanted to share quickly with everybody. Let me see if we have some questions, Matt. I don't know if we have questions here. Okay, one sec.
There is one question from Jorge. It says, does Prowler evaluate SOC 2 compliance in the open source version?
Yes, Prowler it does that in the for SOC 2 and for many others. I can show you quickly. I can show you quickly here. So you can download Prowler and go to compliance, and you get that here. Let me select. Yeah, this is the latest. So we have all this stuff right now supported, but also from the CLI, every time that you run Prowler, it creates an outputs/compliance folder, and you have there a CSV file with everything related to SOC 2, everything related to CIS, EMS, GDPR, whatever other standard that we support. But yes, we do SOC 2, type 2, actually. Anything else? Let me see. For SOC 2 for Azure is not ready yet, but we are working on mapping everything like here across all the cloud providers that we support. We always start with the CIS, and then we add SOC 2, PCI, we add ISO 27000, etc. So I invite you to join our Slack, because you can talk to the engineers that are building this. We can also prioritize. Actually, we do have our public roadmap here, roadmap.prowler.com, as I showed before in the slides, and you can vote also, or even suggest us in Slack what are you waiting for, so you can see what are we working on now, what is next, and what is in the backlog. So you can help us also prioritizing if you feel comfortable with that.
Toni, there is one final question that I will send you, and then we will transition to your closing remarks so we keep on time. So this is from Alberto, and he asks, will there be Prowler as a service?
Well, yes, Prowler as a service is in cloud.prowler.com or prowler.com. You can sign up. It's a free trial. You can use it. Also 15 days free. And remember, this is exactly the same Prowler that you have on GitHub, but hosted by us. We take care of it, we update it, we maintain it, and we scale it because we have new customers and users every day. Yep, thanks for the questions. Well, that was quick, Laura. That was quick. I cannot even talk. Okay. That is amazing that we are almost done for today. So I'm so proud of everybody that has joined us. Also, of course, all our speakers. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for those amazing talks. We have learned a lot during these 5 hours almost. This really big has begun today. I can only say thank you, everybody. When I started Prowler and when we started also thinking about open cloud security, also when we released the manifesto, we always wanted to make this bigger. This is only the beginning. We think the community is way bigger than what it looks like. Of course, the open source in the cloud is a little bit different to open source in general because it's based on cloud providers, of course, and we have to pay the party to somebody, right? But there is no way to keep building and keep growing the cloud and the cloud adoption without open source security, without open cloud security. So thank you, everybody. This is just the beginning, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you all. This will be available on demand starting tomorrow. So we will email all the registrants and you'll be able to share it with your colleagues or your dogs, whoever you think you want to watch it with. No. And Toni said thank you to everyone, but I'm going to jump in and say thank you to Toni for leading this
Thanks, Laura.
And having this conference be possible. So with that, good afternoon, good evening, good night. We'll see you next year for the next one, right, Toni?
Yep. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.